Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Monday, October 7th. Day 83 in the Big Brother house. And we are in our final week. This is the last Monday of Big Brother 26. Yay! Because the house guests are done. So are we. And what's happened since I last talked to you? I recorded my podcast on Friday, posted it on Saturday, my last one. And really, since I posted it, not a whole lot's changed. I think that Mackenzie is leaning towards keeping Cam and getting rid of Rubina, which is kind of where Chelsea wants things to go. And so you can imagine that Mackenzie's not getting much help looking at the opposite side of the options from Chelsea. And she's got the little person on her shoulder whispering in her ear who's also hearing what Mackenzie's thoughts are, and then kind of like, okay, well, if I want to feed her. Now, Mackenzie is not an idiot. They showed it on last night's episode. I didn't watch all of last night's episode, by the way, and I guess the second competition was pretty close and pretty interesting, but I haven't watched it yet for reasons I'll explain in a minute. But I did watch the beginning. I watched the first competition, and during the first part of the episode, they explained, by the way, for some reason, CBS decided to air the episode last night at the same time across the country. I believe I can't speak for Mountain Time how that worked, but it was shown at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So everybody, in theory, unless you had a football or some other thing interrupting it, got to see the episode at the same time last night, and there wasn't some magical reveal or anything. There wasn't some special reason to do it. As far as I know, that's just what they did. So you saw Chelsea win the household competition, and you saw Mackenzie win the power veto competition. And during that first part, Mackenzie talked about the fact that Chelsea would rather keep Cam, right? And so Mackenzie, in theory, is aware of it. And we don't get a lot of Cam talking from Chelsea or from Mackenzie. So some of those times I'm not sure exactly where her mind is at, but it sure seems to be mostly leaning towards keeping Cam. And she isn't considering this whole women alliance thing and final three women, which I don't care one way or the other, but it's just, she isn't. I think I did point out in my, I know I tweeted it, but I don't know if I did say it, so let me just reiterate. I looked up, I've got my little table that I made showing the men to women, ratio for every season, including Over the Top and Celebrity, final 8 weeks. And for every single year, except for Celebrity, if it was a 3-1, I think it ended up being a 2-0. Women, they eliminated the man before the final 2. The men, it never got to a 1-1. Now, one season in Celebrity, it was a 1-1. So my point is that if the trend holds, which there's no reason it has to, and statistics aren't, they would tell you that doesn't, what's happened before isn't indicative of what's going to happen next. But if the trend holds, then it would be a 2-0 female to male at the end. Either, Chelsea and Rubina, Chelsea and Mackenzie, Rubina and Chelsea, whichever, any of those 3 options. But it doesn't sound like Mackenzie is considering even getting to the 3-0. So it doesn't mean it can't be a 2-0. It doesn't mean it can't be McKenzie and Chelsea, or Rubina and either one of the other two. It just means that, well, it doesn't mean anything right now. That's the whole thing. All right, I'm shutting up. There's not a whole lot to talk about. The house guests have not been doing anything. They got out the wine yesterday afternoon and drank outside. It was their last day in the backyard. They will be locked down inside for the rest of the week, and they're aware of that, and so that's why we know, because they talk about it. And so they just kind of hung around in the backyard and talked, and I tuned in very rarely, occasionally, just to see what was up, but I did not see anything or read about anything going on that was surprising, other than what I already talked about. Well, she's kind of leaning towards keeping Cam, and I'm not surprised, right? But she's also not. 2 of the 3 people that she's talking to want her to say that. So you're going to hear that 60% of the time versus 30% with Rubina if she's talking to Rubina. So, all right. All that to say, one of her big Chelsea's big talking points is she feels like she's had to fight all the time to stay in the house, whereas she thinks Rubina and even Cam to some extent have had kind of an easy ride, so she doesn't have much sympathy for either one of them. And the other 2 are in her ear telling her that Rubina's got friends in the jury, that she's got 2 secured votes for sure, and so yada, yada, yada. Anyways, you get it. That's it. That's all we know is going on. They think that the power veto meeting is today. Unless they've changed something, it's going to be a live vote on Thursday, a live eviction that McKenzie's going to have to look and say, you're gone. As opposed to, she's not going to, I don't think she's going to even use the power veto today. There's not going to be a power veto meeting. It's just going to be regular day, because she'll just say, you're using it to save yourself. Now who are you evicting? That's how it's going to work. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think they're going to do the meeting. So, all right. So that's what's going on. I'll update you. I'm either doing one this afternoon, or I'm going to do a better job of getting my Patreon list. I have 18 paying patrons. But the dang phone app doesn't let you look up everybody's names very easily, and so I usually have to do it on my computer and then print it out, because I cannot memorize 18 names, which is why I would not be a good Big Brother contestant. I could name a good chunk of you guys, but I'd miss somebody and I'd feel bad. So I need a list in front of me that I can go down and clip off. So I'm going to print that out today. I keep saying that, and then I get in my car and I'm like, crap, I don't have my list. So I did go as far as to try to look it up though today, and I couldn't. There are some free members too, which you guys don't get anything as a free member, but I appreciate it, that have signed up to be patrons. There's no quote free content on my site, other than you can see the different posts I've made over time. I don't think. Maybe there is a couple of things that are like pictures of Vegas or something from back when my wife and I went to Vegas a couple of years ago. All right, that's it. I'm in total ramble mode. That's it for Big Brother US. Otherwise, Big Brother UK launched yesterday. And as many of you may know, I watched it. I also posted it on BigBrotherGossip.com. You have to do a little bit of sleuth work to get there, but there is you can find the link to watch the premiere episode of Big Brother UK. It was an hour and 20 minutes without commercials, and then there was another 30-ish minute talk show afterwards, late and live. If you have not watched last season's Big Brother UK or this past March's Celebrity Big Brother, you may not want to watch the late and live episode, because both winners from both those seasons were on the panel last night talking, and so you'll find out who won. And so, I'm not telling you. I don't know. They may mention it sooner or later on the regular show, but Plus, the house guests may mention it, talking about it. But you know, if you have something of, I really got to watch the last season before I watch the season, which, by the way, I have both full seasons on the same page that I have the current season that I'm going to post the current season. So it's all there in chronological order with no spoilers. If you choose to and you want to watch it, you can get there. I've tweeted the links out, and the link is right on my most recent post on BigBrotherGossip.com, which is a year old, because I said I'll talk about it, and then I said, now go to this page to find the rest of it, and that's where it goes. And not being extremely sneaky. So it's out there. Check it out. All last night was basically introduce the house guests and shove them into the house. I will give a tiny spoiler, because it's not a huge spoiler, but they made the house guests decide when they entered the house they had to pick a red or a blue. They had to get in the red or the blue team, basically. And through a couple of different manipulations, they shuffled the teams slightly. But in the end, you ended up with some of the house guests being on the red team, some of the house guests being on the blue team. And it was, you know, all in good fun and everything, but obviously something was going to happen. And that something was, half the house was named as non-house guests, or one of the teams, it wasn't half because the teams were uneven, but one of the teams was named as non-house guests and have to spend some period of time in a bad area, like in the Big Brother basement kind of a thing, right? They called it storage, but it's the equivalent. It's an uncomfortable place to stay. The other team just got to be in the house, and also the team that got thrown to the storage, one of them, in theory, is going to be up for nomination or up for eviction. I'm sorry, one of them will be evicted. Not one of them will be up for it. One of them will be evicted on, I believe, Friday. Friday is the first eviction, as far as I know. So that's going on. So that was a nice little twist. So I'm not going to tell you who, right? I'm not telling you which color got selected, and I'm not going to tell you any names of anything because I couldn't tell you anybody's names anyways. But that's what ended up happening at the end of the episode. And then on the late and live, they announced it. They didn't announce. We didn't see anything, but on the late and live, they showed us the house guests entering, the ones that have to go into the storage area, entering the storage area, and that was it. That was their little teaser on that part. So that's the bit that we know. And yes, minor spoilers for the newest folks, but not for the newest. Minor spoilers for the first episode, but it's nothing major. And I will not be talking about names, or you know, at some point I may drop a name or two of something that I find entertaining, but that's minimal, right? Okay, that's what we got. Other reality shows, I'm going to start watching Survivor. I'm going to watch Survivor this week, or get caught up. I am completely behind. Haven't watched any of it yet, and I do want to check it out. So I'm going to watch that, maybe. I'm going on a little bit of a vacation, non-work this week, and so it may make my posting a little bit more sporadic, but again, there's not a whole lot going on, so we'll see when I do it, and that's what I got. All right, we'll talk to you probably maybe this afternoon. I may not have a lot to talk about, but if nothing else, I may shout out my patrons, and then we'll do something during the week at strange times, more than likely, knowing me. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. There's a nip in the air. It is 51 degrees here in Indiana. It has been, in the 60s or 70s or so, and all of a sudden something flipped this weekend, and we're now 51 degrees. So it is officially October. And we should be long done with Big Brother right now, right? I've said 80 days is too long. 80 days is the maximum it should be. Big Brother should have been wrapped up this past weekend. They're doing absolutely nothing the next 6 days. All right. That's it. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later today. Yeah, I'll talk to you later today. I promise. I will. See you later. Bye-bye.